Testing 1, 2. All right. Mic is the correct input. Alrighty, and you know what? It looks like we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, back to another episode of the Mining Market Signal. My name is Seth. You're watching this on the Mind Your Biz channel on YouTube right now, and of course it will replay as a fully recorded video on both YouTube and Odyssey. If you're not already checking us out on Odyssey, the link is in the description. And you know what? After the events of a day like today, I think it's good to have backups, and maybe have backups for your backups, and put the backups to your backups in a backed up locker somewhere. Back it up. So let's start with looking at the Fear and Greed Index. Your chat is live down below me. Your comments are live down below me, so please do keep it PG. Or even G rated would be awesome. We do have pretty heavy content filters, but this is a family show. Thank you for being subscribed. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up. Before we take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, I have to invert the colors. I'm using Dark Reader, and so I still have to teach it. I didn't import any color profiles there. Actually, it was kind of better the other way, wasn't it? Hey, you know what? Maybe Dark Reader really is a life hack. Let's just stick with that, right? Because the widget still stays the same, right? We see the current Fear and Greed Index is a score of 54. Not bad, right? Not bad, all things considered. We're now in neutral territory, though. It's no longer a highly fearful territory. So we're back in that sort of range where, for me, I've got to just kind of admit that I don't really know what's going to happen at this point. Does it go up? Does it go down? Does it crawl sideways? The likelihood of the market continuing to move up is anyone's guess, right? We're back into positive price action for a lot of coins, and we'll take a look at that in our portfolios in just a minute here. On that note, actually, I might have to, I've got to sign in. So brand new browsers bring brand new challenges, and one of those is that I have set Ungoogled Chromium such that it will not automatically save cookies for certain sessions, including all the services that I actually like to use, like CoinGecko and whatever else. But let's jump back into our Fear and Greed Index and just take a quick look, right? Quick look at the Fear and Greed Index shows us that we have got, again, score of 54, and the journey to get to 54 is, it's been interesting. Guys, I really love this with Dark Reader. You guys like this? Seriously, thumbs up in the chat if you prefer looking at these charts with Dark Reader. Right? Just a very simple CSS hack to flip the color scheme for websites that don't offer a dark mode. I like this. Anyway, so Rafael Sales is saying, sup, Mind Your Biz, have you ever seen the BTC moon phases chart? I have taken a look at that. Maren Altman has completely convinced me at this point. It's not that I'm going to go and become a full-blown show you guys zodiac charts or whatever else, or moon phases all the time. But wow. Some of her stuff has been rock solid, like you're saying. Seeing that BTC moon phases chart, or the Bitcoin moon phases chart, it kind of does seem to correspond with sort of the fractal patterns, right? Where people get really bullish and really bearish, right? Kind of flipping back and forth. And it is true that there are more more crimes committed, more murders, for example. I hate to get morbid, but we are in October. We're going to start talking about more spooky stuff soon. But there are more serious crimes committed of passion, people just kind of going a little nuts, closer to the full moon. So there's something to it, right? It's not that like werewolves exist or anything, but I do think that there is something to the moon phases and the moon cycles kind of inspiring people to behave a certain way. And I don't know, maybe it does affect certain people. I personally have never felt like, okay, well, you know, it's a full moon, so obviously I have to go and like do crazy things now. But apparently there are some statistics that show that many people do. Like they wait to do their crazy things and their crimes and stuff for a full moon. I don't know. I don't know why, but you know, most human behavior is not rational. We got Alex in the chat saying hello. Alex, thanks for being here. Got Brian as well, says always dark mode. Jimmy, or David Jimmy thing is giving the thumbs up. Guys, I think David's got the right idea. Nicholas says dark ever. Bitcoin Jake is in the house. Albert's here. Wow, guys, definitely appreciate so many people being here tonight live with us. Thanks for sharing the link so we have more love, more friends in the comments to have a fun time with. Kevin Hawthorne is tuning in all the way from Lakeland, Florida. Appreciate that as well. Next Era Gamer as well. So guys, let me get those shout outs out of the way and let's jump back into this content. We have a kind of a rotating column of some rotating ads and then the chat. So we will be moving back and forth. So please do ask questions, right? Ask questions and answer questions. But this is the journey right here. We're only about, let's just take a look at the 7-day view here. But 7-day view is when we started to see, just a few days ago, we started to see this return to neutrality in the markets, right? People starting to feel a little bit more neutral, not negative, but not ultra, euphoric either. There's definitely a bit less despair because of the improved price action. It tends to do that, right? So that's looking pretty good. Love seeing it. You tell me in the comments section, what is your assessment? What do you think about the markets right now? Are you a little more fearful or are you feeling a little bit more greedy, right? More on the greedy side. Tell me your thoughts in the comments as we go. So guys, also your chats are live. You do not have to send me a super chat. You don't have to be like any kind of special VIP to get any kind of engagement on this live stream. We're not that size channel. Though I am flattered when people are like, oh, well, they do send super chats on occasion, whatever else. That's a very nice thing, very nice gesture, but it's not necessary. You can just talk, right? Talk to me. I'll get back to your comments as soon as I can in the live stream with the content lineup that we have. But these are not rational markets. People respond to fear, greed, and other strong emotions. But what dictates those strong emotions? I think largely the news cycle. One thing that happened today, and this is kind of the clickbait title, right? And I don't think it was overly clickbaity, actually. But this is on MSN.com. They're showing some coverage from The Verge, Alex Castro from The Verge. So definitely like that. I think it's not just the illustration, but it's actually the coverage as well. But apparently the outage happened just before noon Eastern time. So a lot of the rest of the country sort of woke up to this news in the relatively early morning across the United States. And there were about 6 hours of downtime. There are a lot of people who, were worried about this and running around like, oh, wringing their hands. And there were some fake news stories about various different IP addresses being revoked forever. And people saying like, oh, it's not just that Facebook has been interrupted. It's going to be taken down. This is the beginning of the end. You don't understand. It's foreign actors. There's some kind of interference. This is, infrastructure's crumbling. Like people started to like wrap the tinfoil on pretty thick right away. And Facebook is back up and running, but WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, if you've been living under a rock today, then I'll just repeat what already happened. But these major services from Facebook were affected and they had about 6 hours of downtime, but they did finally get restored. So we do see that they're back up and running. So yeah, it's just, guys, this stuff just happens. And the more we rely on massive infrastructure like what AWS runs and like monolithic infrastructure, I'll just say, like what AWS runs or what Microsoft runs with Azure or Google Cloud Platform or things like that, the more likely we're going to see hiccups like this occur when there's some kind of a problem with the monolithic code bases that run on them, right? You have a couple of bad calls between a monolithic repo over here and then no way to fall back or to roll back to a previous snapshot fast enough. And I'm not saying this from like some kind of software architecture background or experience, But I do have a brother that works as a full stack developer for a large company, a large cloud company, and he's related to me the number of large companies that rely on monolithic repositories, meaning that there aren't fallbacks all the time for everything being in a separate repository or in a separate, like we'll just say a separate machine, right? Or separate system of machines. Sometimes the fallbacks are not nearly as well architected as you might think. So it's not like a series of dominoes that has to fall before we start to notice that problems are happening on the internet. It's like, nope, one server broke because the code was bad. And it's this like whatever, this like elastic instance, right? Elastic container on Amazon that like where everything is just basically not running. So the website doesn't run or the service doesn't run. So we noticed that today. Maybe. I think we may find that was kind of the problem. Is that Facebook just had one big problem, but it affected everything. So pretty crazy. Yankee's in the house says, what's up? Good to see you, Yankee. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate that. But anyway, guys, I think it's interesting that we actually noticed a problem, right? So DNS checker showed most ISPs were able to find a route to Facebook just after 5:30 Eastern time. Kind of a nothing burger, but it does beg the question. What are we doing to prepare ourselves when we have communication outages? Something that I think is pretty great about the Mind Your Biz phone is that it does have some messengers that come pre-installed, such as Briar, that can forward messages across mesh networks or across Bluetooth or other communication protocols if you absolutely had to go that route, or they can just hold messages offline in an encrypted fashion until you have access to some kind of a network that will allow you to push that forward. So something to consider, not just being reliant on AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure. So, hey, Punday Replay is saying, hey, Biz, can you please talk about what the miners are doing in the short to medium term? That's a great question. Hey, and Crypto Mikkel, I almost missed that comment coming in. Crypto Mikkel is here as well. Appreciate you being here, man. Super cool that you're here with us in the chat. Throw that on screen. But yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute here. But this is the major news cycle right here. I want to jump back in and just say, I'm looking at a couple of services, one called CryptPad, and I'd like to take a closer look at this, put it through its paces. Apparently it is, they run a free service, but it's also free and open source. So I believe it can totally be self-hosted. And I'm kind of interested in doing this, right? It's a bit of a Google Cloud replacement, right? So lets you write documents, lets you host your own like small repository, and lets you do spreadsheets and presentations and collect data in forms, do whiteboards, which may just be draw.io, which I guess, Nextcloud already does that. And then a Kanban board, which is a lot like the deck application inside of Nextcloud. So I'm kind of used to having a lot of these, like some of these functions already in Nextcloud, but in CryptPad, this sort of Google Docs functionality, I want to test that out and see how well it works. Same with the Crypt Drive here. So they've got a free account here for, it gives you 1 gig, but of course you can spin something up on Vultr and you can run an instance or run a server for like $5 a month that gives you like 25 gigs. So probably like 20 usable, we'll say. Anyway, I'm kind of curious to see what it would be like to run one of these, at least for myself, right? Just see how well that works. So giving you a heads up there, looking at doing a review of potentially of this software very, very soon. Hopefully that works out well. Guys, I'm seeing in OBS, it's giving me a low frame rate error. Am I coming through a little bit choppy? Is the video coming through a little bit choppy? Is this coming through at that's funny. Yeah, actually, when I switch to the larger camera, it's coming through a little less choppy. I might have a little bit too much going on that main screen over here. I think I'm trying to get too many overlays going. Oof. Anyway. So yeah, CryptPad is one that I want to take a look at. And then WallF. This is something that just hit my radar, and I feel kind of silly for not having dug more to try to figure out whether or not this kind of a product existed. I'm a huge fan of Samurai Wallet, and I'll kind of show you. I did a write up over on mindyour.biz for brand new users of the Mind Your Biz phone. So where we talk about a couple of a couple of recommendations that we have for F-Droid apps, and we added it to the recommendations based on the experience that I had just in one afternoon today. Samurai Wallet is open source. Blue Wallet is open source, great for view-only Bitcoin wallets. Monerujo Wallet is open source, and it's great for Monero. But I keep asking myself, like, okay, why don't we have a really good Ethereum wallet that's open source, runs on mobile, and is like kind of spyware free and audited? And I think that Wallet kind of fits the bill. It apparently has support for the Trezor wallet, has support for the Keycard wallet, which is something else. I want to review that too, but a really great NFC. NFC wallet there. And Bitcoin Jake is calling out as well. We got it mentioned on the website, but calling out as well, it's worth mentioning again that it supports Lightning payments also, right? Lightning channels. But I like Blue Wallet for the watch only feature, because I like being able to have eyes on the Bitcoin savings accounts that are like view only and deposit only, so that I don't have any means of spending Bitcoin, but I can at least have a very quick eyes on precisely the accounts that I own and have them connected to a full node that I trust, right? So that's kind of why I'm a big fan of Samurai Wallet, or Blue Wallet rather. And then Samurai Wallet is just great for CoinJoin and everything else. Alex seems convinced that Ledger Live is a better option. I'm not convinced myself. I'm just not. Ledger Live is interesting software. It's good. The Trezor suite, of course, will allow you to automatically connect to Tor on the back end, and then all of the software that the Trezor app or the Trezor device itself and the app runs is all auditable because it's all open source. Guys, this is a running theme on this show. I tend to have an inherent, not mistrust for things or distrust for things that are not open source, but I inherently tend to trust things more that are open source, if that makes sense. I just have that kind of a bias towards open source in general. And then if things change, the community gets really vocal. So case in point, I'm going to pull something up on Twitter live, and we'll just kind of chat as we go here. Yeah, so now Alex is making the mistake of conflating two different services. So it links to Exodus, but here's the thing. Trezor doesn't make Exodus. Exodus is a separate team. So Trezor is a hardware wallet, and it's all open source. Exodus is a software wallet maker, multi-coin wallet maker. And so, yeah, when they decided to be closed source, they kind of lost a bit of my support there too. I don't use Exodus on a regular basis. I have used it. It's a usable wallet. It's good, but definitely not my favorite. Coinomi was open source for a time, and then they closed their source too, which makes me really sad. So there are a lot of different wallets that kind of like the landscape just kind of changes, right? It kind of shifts underneath our feet. It's almost like we're in the middle of a protracted earthquake, right? So what we see over here today could shift, right? And the tectonic plates could kind of like travel, and then tomorrow it's in a different place. We don't know, right? Crypto and blockchain, it's kind of this living, breathing thing. So we have to pay close attention to what's going on and, not blink. It just happens really, really fast. It makes me kind of sad, but I appreciate you bringing that up. Yes. Having a hardware wallet doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a good software experience. So you make a very fair point there. Some closed source software experiences give you, or closed source software suites give you a very good user experience, but they do so at the expense of auditability, right? They might not be insecure. They might be fine. They really might be, but it's up to you and me to guess, right? So Forever Young says, what is the whirlpool feature on Samurai? I appreciate you said that. So you already, I think you might already know, because I didn't mention whirlpool. You brought that up, but here on our recommendations on mindyour.biz, when new users get the Mind Your Biz phone, and there's nothing like secret about this, right? This is a published page, but they get a little like setup sheet here, and I'll give you guys a close up of that little setup sheet. And it's nothing fancy, guys. It's just like, hey, take a look at this. And it has it printed out at the bottom, right? In case you don't want to scan it on any other device. But it just sends you to this website, but to our site where you can take a look at the stuff that we recommend. All of this is available with F-Droid repositories, right? So some of them you have to add, and we've added links if you have to add the repository, right? If you have to add this as a custom software package. Samurai Wallet, you don't. F-Droid just has it listed, and it's been listed for a while. So yeah, Samurai Wallet, I said it's for coin-joined Bitcoin, right? And Forever Young asks, what is the whirlpool feature on Samurai? Well, technically it's called Chamian CoinJoin, right? Named after, I think, David Cham is his name, but named after a data scientist, computer scientist that came up with a cryptographic, the cryptographic shell game, as Edward Snowden calls it, that kind of inspired the ring signatures and the decoy outputs of Monero, but is available on Bitcoin and has been for a long time, right? So CoinJoin is a way to, let's just say, a bit like all these printed pieces of paper, right? Let's just say that they're all like dollar bills, because I don't have my wallet and I'm not going to use cash as a prop on screen right now. But let's just say that I did have a bunch of dollar bills. Nemesis is in the house. You're here just in time, man. We're talking about CoinJoin on Bitcoin. It's great. And Samurai Wallet, because it's our top recommendation for a Bitcoin wallet on the Mind Your Biz phone. But CoinJoin it's almost like a shell game, right? Where everybody puts in a specific amount and they're meant to match the same amounts. So we might have a round of CoinJoin, which on Samurai Wallet uses a specific implementation of CoinJoin called Whirlpool. Sorry, Whirlpool. Supposed to be a silent H in there. I'll make it a little less silent. But we might do a round of CoinJoin where it's like, okay, we need to have everybody put in one full Bitcoin, or exactly 1/10 of a Bitcoin, right? So, gosh, at the time of recording, like almost $5,000, right? But 0.1 Bitcoin, which is always 0.1 Bitcoin, right? Obviously. But I digress. So we all put in 0.1 Bitcoin, and then we mix around the 0.1 Bitcoin each, and then they're distributed over time. And the longer we wait, right, as various people kind of take their 0.1 Bitcoin out and put new 0.1 Bitcoin in and do that, the longer we wait for that CoinJoin to continue to happen, then the more secure and private those transactions are as they come out, right? The outputs as they come back out. Alex asks, is that a mixer? Yes, it's called a mixer. But there are other ways that mixing can be done. And so there are different implementations of CoinJoin that are basically called the mixer. If you do this in a centralized fashion, it is illegal, right? If I ran a website and just said like, hey, send all your Bitcoin here and then tell me what address you want it to be sent to and at what time, and I'll do that for you, right? I'll mix them all up and I'll send it back out. That is illegal. But all of us working together using a protocol is not illegal. That kind of mixing, at least not yet, right? Fingers crossed, knock on wood, talk to your representatives in Congress, make sure that it never does become illegal, because it's kind of silly, right? It's a bit like cash, right? Like I can hand you $500 cash. You can hand me $501 notes, right? I can give you five Benjamins. And if I really needed it and you really had it lying around, you could give me 500 single dollar bills, right? And that's not considered even controversial, right? It's let alone illegal. It's like, no, it's just making change for somebody who wants change. You could walk into a bank and ask for $501 notes, and they're not going to ask you for ID because it's not at that threshold where it matters, right? So why would it matter with Bitcoin? You know, when we're talking about in some cases, the same amounts, right? But people get their undies in a wad over this thing. So anyway, Samurai Wallet is a great wallet to do this in a decentralized fashion without one centralized party controlling the mixing. So it is, again, do I have to red screen you guys? I got to red screen you guys, don't I? If you listen carefully, somebody tell me in the chat, where does the sound effect come from on my disclaimer page? Listen for it. You guys hear it? Okay. Because I got a little like auto ducker there. So yeah, did some auto ducking on my audio. Guys, tell me in the comment section. Somebody's going to guess it, right? It's not that hard. But without giving legal, financial, or business advice, as I understand it right now, coin mixing is not illegal if it's done using decentralized protocols. There we go. People finally started to hear it, right? Like, yeah, I was using the tin deck before from oh, gosh, why can't I think? Anyway, I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day, but I'm really excited to be here with you guys. And I knew I needed to bring some of this to you. Hexacron goes, wasted. I was going to actually put that like, wasted. Also, something wrong with this webcam or the Logitech drivers in general. This is a brand new C922. And over time, all of my Logitech cameras, the drivers go corrupt. And like, watch this. Look at my skin tone on my face. I go from like normal to Donald Trump, right? See that? Straight up carrot man. See that? Orange man. Orange streamer bad. So weird. Anyway, so I needed to go live and talk to you guys about some of the Facebook stuff and as well as some of the security stuff. Like I'm really excited too because we've had several of the Mind Your Biz phones go out and there's a lot more interest in them, and it makes me extremely happy that people are interested in privacy, that they're genuinely interested in privacy. They're not just faking it, right? So it's pretty cool. Yeah, Raven Boy Crypto says Cheetos. I got Cheeto hands and Cheeto face, guys. I practice retention. I can't say it online, but I practice retention. So I get the Cheeto dust on my face. It goes nowhere else because I am sacred and holy. But yeah, so these are the apps that we recommend. Samurai Wallet is there on the list, but it's available directly in F-Droid. Some of these other applications you actually have to go out of your way to find. We also talk about like the Aurora store if you're not using that on Android. It's really important. But Walleth, I'm kind of excited about this one. Like I'm irrationally excited about this new open source Ethereum wallet app that I found. It's like kind of silly. I'm kind of fanboying over this stupid like app, right? So anyway, so yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. So I've actually set all of my Logitech settings. I've got a custom, and I do have auto exposure turned on. So no, I don't. I can go to manual. Make sure that's full manual. Nope. I've got manual exposure. I've got manual white temperature. I've got manual sharpness turned on. I've got manual focus turned on. I've got backlight compensation turned off. I've got gain. Everything is manual, guys. Brightness, contrast, saturation, all of it. All of it. Yeah, I know the random lighting is probably messing with it a little bit, but guys, there's no automatic white balancing. So what is it rebasing the midtones off of, right? Like, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Anyway, I have to start busting out my Sony camera and actually using like an HDMI converter because I don't want to do that. Maybe you guys want that though. I don't know. Maybe we'll like fancy up the stream a little bit more in the coming weeks. But I'm talking a lot about, just the technicals of the stream. Anyway, guys, these are our recommendations. We put these here like various wallets that are open source. Monarujo wallet, because it's always been open source and they didn't have to be forced to make it open source. They started by understanding the market. I'm not going to name names, but there are other Monero wallets you could use, and I've got nothing against them. But Monarujo wallet started open source because they understand the ethos, right? They understand the crypto space. So I definitely like that. Let's see. So I do have a ring light also on my camera, but I can decrease that. What that does is help to counterbalance my monitors, right? So anyway, Golden Wolf says, I think you're fine. Content is king. Yeah. So appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that. I'm just, I am a little bit of a pixel peeper, or I was back in the day. So I don't know. I think probably my standards have dropped a little bit, just a little bit over the years. So yeah, Monarujo wallet, I love that they have always been open source. I really dig that, and I want to reward that. So I want to promote that. I want people to know about that because it works great. It lets you connect to your own Monero node if you run one. Walleth is great. Lets you do custom RPCs out the wazoo. Add extra hardware wallets if you want to from Trezor or from this new key card. Let me just pull that one up as well. And this is not an endorsement, guys. I'm not like whatever. I'm not like an affiliate for these things. And I actually do have affiliate content in other places, right? I actually do have the other like affiliate links and stuff for other wallets and things. But I don't for Keycard, and I don't for Wallet. That's open source, right? I can't, right? Because it's open source. There is no affiliate incentive. Same with CryptPad. These are open source technologies that I just want to share because I think they're that cool. So Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And they frame this as being an Ethereum wallet, but like all of the various like different options you see here, I mean, it's very sparse interface, very Spartan interface. It's the kind of thing that only appeals to somebody who's into like open source software and doesn't care about user interface that much, user experience that much. But it's like, hey, does it do what I want it to do? Then cool, I'm down, right? Like us, right? People that mess with batch scripts all the time and are shelling into stuff, and we're okay with command line and stuff. Like sometimes you don't need it to have special flair and custom animations and things when you open up a window or adjust something. You just need it to work, right? When it comes to crypto security, you just need it to be able to use a hardware device to sign a transaction, right? So that you don't have private keys on the device. Period. End of story. But when it comes to an EVM-based wallet, right, an Ethereum-based wallet, you need it to be able to take in custom RPCs and allow you to create custom coins, right? So import custom tokens, right, from a smart contract address. Like literally only those two things. Yeah, Bitcoin Jake says Linux for over a decade. Bro, then like I don't talk about it that often, but my first Linux box was Fedora Core 2. When it was still Fedora Core, right? Not Fedora. But like Fedora Core 2. Why? Because I built one of these crazy AMD 64 machines, and Microsoft could not like get their act together and make a 64-bit OS to save their gosh darn lives. So I was like, okay, did I buy a bill of goods? Like I'm unafraid of just dealing with Linux. Got a brother that runs like, what was at the time, Slackware that he ran at the time. Big Slackware fan. And so I was like, okay, Fedora Core, it seems pretty approachable. It's got binary compatibility with Red Hat. And Red Hat is what all the like Hollywood studios use and what businesses use internationally. So it can't be that bad, right? So Fedora Core, it's a community thing. So they actually have more packages in Fedora Core than you get in Red Hat. So what the heck? Why not? We're doing this. We're definitely doing this. That was back in the day. David says, I am Garuda? ? So now me kind of like trying out Garuda is basically me kicking and screaming to not go like full Arch, right? Because I value my time, right? Linux is free if you don't value your time. That's the thing. Like, so yeah. Barry says, started with ATT Unix and Microsoft Xenix, IBM DOS 1.1, CPM 80. Dang, bro. Yeah, see, and I've been pampered. My first like actual personal computer was an Amiga 500. So like Amiga OS was plush, right? By comparison, absolutely plush. Just like really, really hand holding and a lot of really nice features and extras. So yeah. Anyway, whatever. I was using the A520 adapter on that Amiga 500 to use just a CRT, like a TV, right? My parents' TV, to use it as a monitor. So yeah, just had it like super easy in that environment. Linux though is not that hard. So anyway, just saying all of that stuff. We got a lurker to come out of the shadows. Sean says Amiga is the shiznit. Sean, glad you're here. It's awesome. Video toaster, bro, and Kiki Stockhammer. Still, I believe that Kiki Stockhammer is still the spokesperson for the video toaster today, for New Tech rather. So crazy times, man. Fun times, small world. But anyway, Mobius started with a 386. And then Bitcoin Jake says, BS. Linux is free if you don't value your time. You know how much time I save installing Linux instead of Windows? Lamau, Windows sucks. 2 to 3 slower install. I believe that. It's the configuration of the environment later on and all the other customizations. I don't mean to say that it's not user-friendly. It is user-friendly, and it's as user-friendly as it's ever been. I don't mean to scare anybody away from Linux. All I mean to say is as far as configuring stuff like, I don't know, a network printer, good luck. I had to go back to a USB on my old LaserJet. It's an older LaserJet. Like, this is legacy hardware. It should have pretty well-defined support. But the HP little printer finder utility just hates everyone and everything. So that was a little bit of a pain. Anyway, just saying, not everything operates perfectly. So if you have a business at home where you have to configure certain peripherals and additional stuff on top of it, There's all kinds of there are all kinds of like that last mile is what I'm saying. That last mile of like, hey, will it just plug and play? How's the driver support? Do I have to use proprietary drivers? Because if I'm using proprietary drivers, I'm now in the territory of not using open source anymore, am I? I'm using proprietary drivers. So like I've broken the veil of a fully open source environment. So am I going to go full Richard Stallman? Stop using cell phones? Am I going to like how far do I push this thing, right? Before it becomes an agenda, right? So just saying. John Ross saying, yeah, Windows Print Spooler is such a good thing unless you value security. And that's what I'm saying. None of this stuff is perfect, and the familiarity breeds contempt, right? Like the more you know about this stuff and about like personal computing, really the more of a healthy mistrust you should probably have for it. Probably. I think if we just looked at, if we just zoomed out a bit on every personal computing like operating system and the broader ecosystem and environment that it's meant to serve, like we are a bunch of crazy monkeys using this stuff, right? Like it's pretty nuts what we've chosen to surround ourselves with and work with every day. And the security questions like aside, if we can claw back just a little bit of the security that we probably should have day to day, then I think that's a good thing. So that's why I'm excited about stuff like this, right? Where it's like, okay, it's open source. So at least it can be audited by third parties, right? It's a step in the right direction. Yeah. Barry's saying he runs a VMware workstation to keep things isolated. That's kind of where I'm at with Windows stuff at this point. If I ever need Windows moving forward, I will be using it in VirtualBox or in a virtualized environment. I'll just put it that way, in a virtual container, right? Or something, some kind of an image there. But I don't need to right now. I'm finding really good reasons to stay almost entirely native in Linux. So seeing open source like this in that space, seeing that there's a hardware wallet supported or more than one hardware wallet supported for that. Guess what? MetaMask doesn't support hardware wallets on mobile, not on Android, not in any user-friendly way or not in any user-prompted way. Whereas on this right here, Wallet, it literally asks you, hey, do you want to use a Trezor? And then if you were able to scroll down on this, I can't actually show you there, but I can show you on my device. Or I should be able to give you some sense on my device. It shouldn't be too terrible to look at. But this is Wallet. I created a little burner right here, and so much glare. But hey, you can see your own comments. It's a reflection of a reflection. It's a reflection of humanity. There we go. Turn that off. You should be able to see that a lot better. But there's a main screen. And if I wanted to create a new account, I've got my account lists right there. And it's that same screen that I was showing you before. But if I were to scroll down, I can use a keep key, or ideally, I'm supposed to be able to use a keep key. And then I should be also able to use... I thought I was supposed to be able to use the card key as well. Maybe I'm thinking of a different ETH app that was available here. But Trezor and Keep Key already are just pretty cool. It's pretty darn cool. I'm just excited that it's even an option. Token on the blockchain is asking, is Trezor a good hardware wallet? Yeah, Gundy's Stuff and Things is in the house. It's the DCA Adventure family. Thanks for being here, bro. You are FA. Appreciate that. And yeah, I mean that. FAAF. So, yeah. So, token on the blockchain, very odd, very, very odd username. You're asking, is Trezor a good hardware wallet? Yes. Yes, it is. It is a good hardware wallet. Is it the best? I can't answer a question like that, but it's a good hardware wallet. It is a good one, for sure. But I'll jump back out of the way here. And yeah, I'm kind of excited about this, guys. I'm going to tell you what my experience is like over the next little while. Being able to add new accounts is easy. Being able to add new RPCs and new networks is super easy. And they've even got a little custom download button for RPCs. Actually, that's worth taking a look at also. just really fast. I may be able to show you that here. So, yeah. So on this right here, turn off my light again, but I can just download a bunch of like custom, like typical RPCs. What I can't do is actually adjust the text size. That's kind of weird, right? Check it out, guys. It's like mood lighting. I'm going to lower the lights, slow things down. But I've got the, here we go. I've got Ethermine Private RPC as my favorite, but they've got a little download button right here that basically it'll basically just download something along the lines of like 300 different RPCs for various networks that you might want to use just because they already have a database. It's not that hard, right? To like 300 little RPCs, like what is it? 350-ish, I think, or 360 some odd records is what they downloaded there. So like a single text file that has like all of them, or a lookup table that has all those, it's like 365, say, records with like 5 lines. And I think the longest line is like 60 characters, right? It's not this like massive database, not massive sprawling database to be able to keep adding, right? And you can add them to a public repository on GitHub. That's what I love about projects like this, right? Where it's like, I'm a brand new Ethereum virtual machine compatible wallet, right? So yeah, go over to GitHub and just tell them like, here's a pull request. Boom, we exist, and this is our coin number, and this is our RPC server URL, and this is the block explorer that we want you to use. Pull request. Not rocket science. Even a monkey like me can do it. So anyway, I'm kind of excited about that, guys. I think it's pretty darn cool. Barry says, I would have to buy another smartphone. I don't even use social media on my phone. That's just smart. Maybe don't even use social media at all, right? Anyway, I think that's, I'm not like crying any tears at all over Facebook disappearing. I finally completely nuked my account. It took me way too long to do that. I just stopped using it for a couple of years. Funny story, before 2015, I didn't even have my username in English. I completely used a fictitious name on Facebook, and it was before they forced you to like present as yourself, like dox yourself. And I made the mistake of changing it, right, to my actual name for a while. It's just annoying, but water under the bridge now. So I'm like, bro, dodge that bullet. Requested a download of all the data, completely nuked everything or whatever as much as you can. It's never nuked, right? But I didn't put anything special on there, anything personal or private. So anyway, just annoying. It's just an annoying thing. And I'm hoping that more people just finally take a look at this whole event and say, all right, so that happened. Facebook was down. Oh my gosh, Facebook was also leaked, right? We had yet another leak of the Facebook data set again. And maybe I don't really need it anymore. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Gundy7 and Thing says, don't ever go full docs. Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if it's technically full doxing. I went through whatever, their little jump through the hoops, right? To show them like, oh yeah, this is actually me. It's just annoying. Yeah, Alex says, hashtag always on the server side. Hashtag never forget your data. Yeah, it's true. We've given them too much and they're never going to give it back. It's totally true. Barry says, I deleted most of my history on Facebook. I think Alex got addressed that, your comment as well with those hashtags. It's just anything we give them, even to the point of typing up a draft inside of Facebook Messenger, they log your drafts, even if you don't press send. Right? Your drafts there's persistence of that data in your drafts as you go. It's on their servers. They know everything you're going to say to somebody else because if you've typed it out. So anyway, Gundy says, not just that, they own it too. It's true. They own as much as you give them. Says, I just deleted 11 years of Twitter also. Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea, especially now that they're trying to add the Lightning payments and associate your Strike account with it. I can't think of anything worse than trying to combine social media with finance. Venmo was a bad idea. Libra, right? Calibra was a bad idea with Facebook. And now Strike being combined with Twitter, I know it's going to bring mass adoption. It's going to bring more adoption, but it's still just at its root, at its core, it's just a bad idea, right? Where it's like, okay, what happens when we start to get the social credit score? It's going to be a thing where the IRS is like, wow, you tweeted, you got a lot of attention for that tweet. Do you get any tips that we can see? Oh, never mind. We know that's associated with Strike. We know the account number and it's on the blockchain, so we know exactly how much you got. We think you owe us something. What if you lost your account credentials, man? What if they're bad, whatever. You fell prey to a Rotten Seeds attack on another bad wallet for Lightning. What if you tried to download a wallet like Blue Wallet and it was fake, right? What if you followed a fake link for Blue Wallet and you tried to put in your credentials for that Lightning wallet there? What if you try to transfer stuff and you wind up getting jacked, right? So the IRS doesn't know that. Smarty pants IRS. Sheesh. All right. Well, guys, let's do a little bit of profitability info here. I'm going to skip our lowest end AMD cards and jump straight into Polaris because I think, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, is anybody here mining on the R9 Fury or the R9 380? If you are, throw your hands up because you're awesome. I'm just kidding. Maybe don't say anything because I'm going to skip over your stuff. But going to go to the 4 gig Polaris edition or Polaris card. Type back in my stuff here because I disabled cookies on this browser. So we're going to go with our averages of 7 days here and 7 days here. Volume filter of 1 full Bitcoins. And 14 cents per kilowatt hour because America. We got Ravencoin at 76 cents per day. Ethereum Classic at 78 cents per day. It's not nothing. It's not awesome, but it's not nothing. Let's see. David says, bad idea. Glad I am watching live. Yeah, right. Alex says, LOL, lost your creds. Makes me think like lost all my stuff in a boating accident. Yeah, I mean, right. But here's the thing, guys. We all know there's the Bitcoin pizza guy, right? But there's also a lot of people who legit just misplaced their seed phrase, misplaced their keys. And if Peter Schiff is to be believed, he's one of those people, right? I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the type that actually lost his keys, but whatever. So it can happen. Just saying. I think it's actually possible. But let's go from our 570 to our 580. This is going to represent an 8 gig Polaris card. And some Goblin Loser I don't know says, can I get a quick TLDR, a quick recap on what just happened with Facebook? Just got home from work. Bro, the thing is, I don't think anybody knows in great detail what happened. Basically, DNS couldn't resolve to Facebook across multiple ISPs, so it basically disappeared from the internet for like millions of people, hundreds of millions of people. Couldn't find Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp for like 6 hours. Da-da-da. That's basically it. I should have done a TLDR to begin with. Anyway, so scrolling down, guys, we've got $1.65 on Ethereum for that 8 gig Polaris card. Ravencoin and Ethereum Classic performance actually a little better than, I think it's just because it shows the higher hash rate on ETH hash for those. So that's not too big of a shock. Moving from that into our Vega 56. But Vega 56 is, yeah, Alex, some Goblin Loser, they didn't renew their domains. That would be so dope, right? Could you imagine just swooping in and doing a domain squat right now for WhatsApp or for Instagram? Just being like, I'm sorry, Facebook, I didn't know you owned that. Be awesome. I would love that. So Vega 56 is looking pretty good with Ethereum at $2.79. It's never a bad day with the Vega right now. Ergo is at just over $2, and Ravencoin is not looking its worst either, but it is about half of what Ethereum is in terms of daily profit. Moving from the Vega 56 into the Radeon 7, which is the top of the line Vega architecture card with HBM2. And think about it. There it is. $5.71 on Ethereum. Jumps way down, clear down to $3.28 on Ethereum Classic and $3.29 on Ergo. Cork chain is below $3. Not too awesome there. Yeah, oh, that's another thing that's noteworthy. Actually, GoDaddy was offline for a short time today as well. So I'm pretty sure there were several websites that were affected by whatever this DNS hack or this DNS lapse was. So No telling what the full extent of the damage is. Nobody was going onto social media and crying about GoDaddy today, though. So hopefully all of the records and cPanels that everybody needs, right? The DNS management, like the name server management and stuff, hopefully all of that stayed intact, right, on their servers. But it was the front end, right, the website of GoDaddy.com that disappeared too. So, yeah, interesting times. Radeon 7 looking great, though. Again, just a beast of a card on Team Red. Let's go with our composite score of 6800 XT and the 5600 XT real quick. And we get the lion's share going to the 6800 XT on this one. Ethereum at $6.30. Conceal coming up the ranks to $5.06. Ravencoin behind it below $4. Equilibria has found equilibrium. That's right. It's sliding down the ranks to go back into the pit from whence it came. So, yeah, I'm not too shocked to see that. It kind of came out of nowhere. It was only a question of time before it disappeared again, right? Like just temporary profits of maybe a week there. But, whatever. Some people, I'm sure, were able to flip some quick profits. Going to Team Green, let's jump into the 1060, the 1660, the 2060, and the 3060 Ti. Calculate our profits here. Let's see. Alex says, mind your biz, check the Son of a Tech vid. MX lookup showed no DNS records for Facebook at like 2 p.m. today. Hey, you know what? Good call. And I would absolutely trust Blind Run to be extremely dialed into that as a cloud solutions guy, right? Cloud solutions architect and specialist. I would totally see like this all being in his wheelhouse, knowing immediately how to diagnose what may have gone wrong. So cool. That's there you go. And I did see some stuff retweeted randomly, blindly on Twitter about like there are no DNS records for Facebook, so it's a targeted attack. It's being taken down, but I mean it came back up a little later on in the day. So I don't know that anybody has come up with a root cause for why yet. Savage Gaming's in the chat, says hello. Good to see you. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight. Appreciate that. Guys, I should ask also, how is the stream clarity? Do we have a little less compression on the stream tonight? Does it look visually any better? I've made a little bit of a change here, and I'm hoping that looks better on the streaming side. You tell me in the comments, though. I'd like to continue to make things a little better. Bronson says, guys, I'm Amish. You shouldn't be mining. We're mining. You shouldn't be here. So Team Green is looking like Ethereum at $7.76. Conceal in second place and doing phenomenally well, almost at the $7 mark there. Firo at $6.65 and Flux doing really well also. Not sure that it's showing all of the, So not sure if it's showing all of the parallel assets that come out of Flux there, but it's looking pretty good. Parallel assets are, marching right along. So we'll see if that looks any better or looks any worse. Some Goblin Loser says, Bronson, are you on Rumspringa? Yeah, good question, right? Good question. These are the hard-hitting questions, guys. We know what to ask him. We showed him. Yeah. Get out of here, man. All right, so 3090 and 2080 Ti. Gosh darn it, where the heck are you? There it is. I should probably be able to see this a little better. 2080 Ti, 1660S, and the 1080 Ti. Calculate for profits. Ozzy Bogan Tech says, we're not Amish and neither are you. Neither are you. And here's the thing, I can't do his accent justice, but you should definitely be feeling embarrassed by that, Bronson. Definitely. It's a lot worse when it comes from an Aussie. So, all right, so hitting calculate there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what? You know who it is. Guys, you know who it is? I want you all simultaneously, really, we got to do this as a mob, right? But as a friendly mob, right? I need you to all say, we love you, Adam, in the chat. Type it all out, right? I'll start. We love your face, Adam. Oh my gosh. There we go. So tell him he needs love and affection. He's trolling because he actually is missing some other emotions. In here, there's a giant hole where the heart should be. So anyway, hey, yeah, we'll see. It's a long shot, guys, but I'm pretty sure I know who it is. All right, so this is our Team Green composite score on the high performance cards. Ethereum at 1370, Conceal at 1220, Firo at 1122, and Flux at 952. It's looking not too bad, guys. Let's hit up the GPUs tab really fast also to just get a sense from a bird's eye view what's performing highest. And of course, it's the 3090. Not too big a shock there. Daily profit is highest, especially on Ethash and Ergo. And then the Radeon 7, guys. These two pretty much always take the leaderboard in number 1 and number 2. The 3080 is ahead of the 3080 Ti, and then trailing up the pack, right? The very, very last is that R9 380. It's a 4 gig card, but the fact that it's still profitable at all, in my mind, is like nothing short of like a small miracle, right? The 1050 Ti is also profitable. Something that's worth noting if you didn't know this. Oh yeah. Oof, that's too much. Trying to zoom in a little bit. Jeez. But the 1050 Ti, if you didn't know this, the 1050 Ti is, it only consumes, there you go, on Prog Pow even, it consumes 80 watts. And that tells you Prog Pow is a very power-hungry proof-of-work algorithm. On anything less power-hungry than Prog Pow, you can run the 1050 Ti without any supplemental power. It just runs straight from the power that comes from the slot. So if you have like riserless boards, or if you just want to like run this in an old piece of machine, an old piece of equipment that you don't have an updated PSU for, or whatever, or if you just wanted to have a bunch of like risers with just 1050 Ti's in them, and then have have your power supplies extend farther across more units, it scales very well. They give you a lot less headache, but they are really old cards too, right? So that's the thing. Anybody who's like trying to acquire 1050 Ti's, probably not a good idea, but they're kind of cool that way. Alex is saying tats for tacos. I almost said tatas for tacos. I'm going to say that's not quite right. Going to get myself in trouble. The wife isn't watching, so probably right. So, yeah, those are our GPUs, guys, for the numbers. I'm still having a bit of an issue with, some bit of an issue with the brains calculator here. Let's go ahead and try to do some troubleshooting here live. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kill uBlock Origin. I think it's probably just a pretty simple tracker here, but this particular browser is not logged into any accounts, any social media accounts, so that shouldn't be a problem. No, they already have a dark theme, so I'm also going to kill Dark Reader. Just tell it that I don't need their help to adjust the colors. And I could probably enable, JavaScript on this page, but why? If I don't have to, then no, I'm not going to do it. Guys, we're jumping out of here, going straight over to our GPU mining calculator, or GPU mining portfolio. Why? Because this is the good stuff. Let's be very, very real. We all came here to see how badly everything else got wrecked by the coins that we're holding, right? Because we're like cheering for our own little portfolio, our own little bag, right? So let's see how badly we punched everything else in the face. GPU mining coins, we got Flux in first place. Still looking pretty dominant, but not quite as strong as before, right? This particular week was not the highest performer. Gundy Stuff and Things says, it's okay, Seth. My wife, he doesn't watch my content either. Bro, right? It's just a struggle. That's the thing. At least Pocket Change watches Chump Change's videos, right? Right. But even Mrs. BBT doesn't watch Carter from Vitz Be Trippin' anymore. She used to be on stream with him. Just doesn't happen anymore. Anyway, just saying. Yeah, weird. So let's see here. Flux is in number 1. Ryo Currency, kind of a dark horse, guys. It rose up the stacked ranking pretty quickly here. Equilibria is also in the number 3 spot, so it's looking pretty good there. That looks pretty great. Conceal and Raven Coin also above Ethereum. And our break-even point, our break-even coin is Ergo. That's the last one. Kind of a big delta between Ergo and Conflux. I didn't expect to see that, but Conflux is below our break-even point. Firo is below that. Grin and Polygon, which is rising up actually pretty fast. So it's breaking, hopefully it has escape velocity to break out of the break-even territory. But Swap and BitTube also are experiencing some positive price action. They're just still in the last place. Haven is rising up as well, but it hasn't actually, the dev team hasn't given us a proper date for when we're going to see Haven 2.0 launch, which is the big thing that everybody's waiting for, right? Like if Haven 2.0 launches and you finally get the XUSD stablecoin that's based on Monero, along with their Haven, right? They're sort of like algorithmic peg to US dollars, and then back to Haven. That's going to be really powerful, I think. Dave Jack is in the comments, says, "Hey, Mind Your Biz, how you been, brother?" I've been well, thank you. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that, guys. I should also mention that I am pretty darn excited. I don't have the inline ad. I was supposed to run it tonight, so I'll have that on Wednesday. I'm actually obligated to run it, and I'm excited to run it. I did that video. You can see the link down below, but did that video about Conga Exchange, and I'm kind of excited. I'm going to do business KYC for that and see how their payment gateway works. I might be switching, if it works well, I might be switching from coin payments to Conga Exchange over it. So that's why I'm excited about it, guys. It's not like just your garden variety shill where it's like, oh yeah, I got a big bag of money from these guys. So, I'm going to keep on talking about them. Obviously I got a big bag of money from them too, but like, but if it works as a payment gateway, like I'd rather use that than coin payments, where I keep hearing people say like, my payment is like the payment window is timing out. Like I missed one customer tried to pay in Solana, didn't work. Another customer tried to pay in Bitcoin, didn't work. I've had more than a couple payments time out with customers. So I am looking for a different payment solution there, or going fully self-hosted with BTC Pay Server and then auto switching. So got a, spinning platters. So quaint. But it's just like straight spinning platters and then straight bolted onto here with a little 3D printed topper. I like this. I think this is a very, very cool case. Anyway. Let's see. So Savage Gaming, take the bag. Alex says, obviously, LOL. Dave Jack, huge fanboy. LOL. How you feel about miners on ETH staking pool? That's a good question. Staking pools for Ethereum in preparation for ETH 2.0, it hasn't worked out well. There have been some hacks. There has been some loss and theft on staking for Ethereum, right? For the beacon chain right now. So I've kind of got mixed feelings towards Ethereum with proof of stake. I'll just say that. It's not my favorite version of Ethereum right now. I like Ethereum when it's firing on all cylinders with proof of work going. Proof of stake, so far, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it hasn't been working out the way a lot of the Ethereum developers maybe hoped. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, so far it hasn't seemed to be a very good experiment yet. But anyway. Yeah, I hope that answers that question. But yeah, guys, that's our GPU portfolio. Let's check out our hard drive mining portfolio. And again, if you're wondering what browser I'm using tonight, I'm using ungoogled Chromium. There we go. Drop down there about Chromium. Oh dear. There it is. So, and I apologize. There is no dark mode for the menus. There is actually. There is kind of, but it's a hack, right? You guys want to see the hack? Can I show you a Chromium hack? It's pretty cool. It's kind of a life hack. So if I can, anyway, you don't have to see it. If you don't want to see it, I'm not going to show you. But like, there is a hack to get dark mode in the settings menu of both Chromium and Chrome. If you're ever on somebody else's computer and you want to just mess with them, you can do this too. So here's how you mess with somebody who's using Chrome. I'm going to go to a new tab, start typing in Chrome, //flags. And if you ever worked with the settings before, you know where this sends you, right? So brings you to a bunch of experiments here. I can go into Reader, and I've got enable reader mode, which I like. Oh, you know what? I haven't enabled that yet. So I'm going to enabled, available in settings. So we can definitely do that. And enable experimental access. No, what am I talking about? Dark. That's what I need to do. Or force dark mode for web contents. And web contents basically just means like everything that renders HTML everything. So scroll down and I can tell it, okay, I want to do that with selective inversion of everything, both image elements and non-image elements. So what it's going to do is try to do some analysis. It's not very good. It's not like AI. Like, it's not a particularly robust AI or whatever. It's analyzing everything on screen, and it's going to say like, okay, well, that's red and that's blue and that's greenish and that's kind of a skin tone. And so if that looks kind of like skin tone, then we won't invert it. But it doesn't do a very good job. So there's that. Let me relaunch this. First off, we're going to have a little experiment to see what happened with the cookie settings on this browser. So if it logs me out of, there we go. So back in experiments, it relaunched that same tab, and now we have dark mode. But it's persistent. It's always on, dark mode. Over here on settings too, see, Chromium, same thing. I'll pop up my text size there too. Go over to 175% zoom, so it's less painful for you guys to see on stream. But there it is. Golden Wolf is throwing up the Stay Savage, the horns. Appreciate that. But yeah, it also does, like, if you are on, say, a Google Docs form like this, it forces its own dark mode on. I'm going to take Dark Reader off. Okay, so I've got Dark Reader, the plugin going, but when I remove that, it still inverts everything. See that? So it's like always on. Yeah. Alex Burton says, ew, those window animations. I know. I can probably adjust that. So I've got Garuda Linux running on my laptop too, and I've already kind of like scaled back some of those animations and some of like the weird like transparencies and stuff, because it's a laptop, right? Like have your CPU fan like pinned at 100% all the time just because you're rendering weird like jello window animations. Crazy times, right? So I got rid of that on the laptop. I'm going to do something about that on the desktop too. Just haven't done it yet. So bear with me, guys. That's what I'm talking about as far as like not being free on Linux of the time and getting this to go here. Oh, guys, keycard. I've got to check to see if this thing actually works on some of the wallets that I like. So there we go. This is inverted too, but it breaks some of their presentation, right? Because it says selective rendering. They had these image elements embedded with a white background instead of having them use transparency. So they kind of appear visually broken, right? By this always on dark mode that you can adjust in that Chrome flag. So yeah, so it's a bit of a hack, but it's a bit of a, hackneyed hack. It's not for everyone, but yeah, keycard. I'm still very curious about keycard. I still want to see more about it. I want to learn. I want to probably try one out. But yeah, they're talking about having, or they have, not talking about it, but they have a, gosh darn it, I lost my tab. They've got they've got a custom run of it because it's basically, yeah, Alex, look at you hacking for the sake of hacking. Yeah, dude, here's the thing, right? Like we all have hobbies. We all have hobbies. Mine is breaking stuff and not being able to fix it. Oh no, I can't change that flag back. So, but go back to our portfolio. Looks like I am still logged in. Am I still logged in? Yep, still signed in. All right, so at least my cookies have stayed persistent. That's kind of what I needed to change here. At least for some sites, I needed to whitelist some sites that were allowed to have persistent cookie access. So, all right, we're back in our hard drive portfolio. We're down by almost 2% there, and total P&L is still down 14%. And we have 2 coins that are above water still, though. Got storage and MadeSafe coin. Everything else is underwater. Chia is down in the depths of that underwaterness. So $165 per coin. It is up relative to the last time we talked about it, but that's not really saying much because it's still almost 80% down since we put it in the portfolio. Wah, sad times. All right, moving from the hard drive portfolio to the CPU portfolio. In the CPU portfolio, we've got as a category leader, Raptorium. Oh my gosh, still just looking so hungry. Unbelievable performance in, Raptorium. 24-hour change, though, it's 3% down. Still, the entire P&L for this portfolio, since we put Raptorium in it, is just, it's parabolic. Raptorium is ripping everything else's face off. Epic Cache is not doing half bad itself. So it's up almost 100% since we added that entry. Yenten, which I forget who suggested it, is not doing so hot. Apparently, maybe it's a really good performer as far as the daily profit in CPU mining, but since we put this May 26th entry into the ledger, it hasn't performed well since that point. So yeah, at about 0.17 pennies, 0.17 pennies per coin, maybe it makes sense for somebody, but there you go. Some Goblin says, didn't Raptorium have a huge pump? This looks like a healthy correction. Yeah, it probably is a healthy correction. But again, from the date that we put this asset into the portfolio, it's still up almost 715%. So it's performed phenomenally since that time. So yeah, on the one hand. Yeah, Alex, Raptorium is ripping everyone else's face off. Dude, that's what Raptors do. Yes, it is. So that's impressive, guys. CPU portfolio is looking healthy. ASIC mining portfolio is not looking quite as awesome. It's Go Mining token still in that number one spot, but still up by 200%. Bitcoin still up by 26%, so we're not underwater. But remember that we did set up this portfolio at a time when Bitcoin was starting to crab sideways. So anything in this direction is good for Bitcoin, but it's not necessarily the healthiest coin in the entire portfolio by way of like price action. Bytecoin is still in last place. Pirate Chain still in last place with Bytecoin just behind it. Total gain in the last 24 hours is 3.2%, and total PNL is negative 2%. Oof. So yeah, still down across the entire portfolio, but I think it's Pirate Chain and Bytecoin that are kind of dragging it down heaviest. Dogecoin is, it's doing Dogecoin's thing. It's kind of pumped a little bit here, and I wonder how strongly correlated that is to Bitcoin. It appears not much, not at all. Alex says, ASIC mining looks great if you got L3s for dang near free, ... like someone I know. Bro, yeah, I know someone like that too, and like a dummy, he got rid of them. You're looking at the guy. Wah! So, yeah, that's our ASIC mining portfolio, not looking the worst. As you know, this doesn't necessarily describe daily profits, so it's just the long-term holding prospect. FPGA portfolio is looking the healthiest it has in a long, long time. 24-hour change is up by a percentage point and a half. Total PNL is about 0.5% down. 0x Bitcoin is doing whatever the heck it does down there at 65% down since we put it in the portfolio. Cadena is melting faces at 200% up. Telor is in number 2, but it's underwater. Same with Handshake, Nimic, and Digibyte. So yeah, there you go. FPGAs, really it's Cadena. It's a Cadena show there. Proof of stake smart contracts looking kind of like Terra Luna is still in the number one spot. Solana is behind it. Yeah, Terra is up significantly higher, almost 150% higher than Solana from that day. Some Goblin Loser, I don't know, says that is a lot of green, right? Yeah, the proof of stake smart contract side of the portfolio is almost always our healthiest side of the portfolio. Let me pop that a little bit higher for you guys, a little bigger rather. So Terra's in number one spot, Solana, Phantom, Avalanche, Cosmos, that pretty much hasn't changed. They've all been doing phenomenally well. So even though Solana has a bigger market cap than Terra, the price action since we set up this portfolio is in Terra's favor. But yeah, they're just really, really impressive. Avalanche, I have yet to actually experiment with Avalanche. Guys, does anybody have strong opinions or strong feelings about Avalanche right now? Anybody holding any AVAX and just thinking like, oh my gosh, he doesn't know. He needs to know. I got to tell him. He needs to understand. Like, what in your mind is the big deal with Avalanche over platforms or networks like Polygon? And hear me out. OpenSea supports Polygon. I don't know if OpenSea supports AVAX yet. Maybe it will, right? Like maybe it will soon. And then Ethermine supports Polygon. I don't know if they're going to support AVAX anytime soon. So like I'm viewing it as a real world present day utility coin on Matic, right? Polygon. Not because it's this long-term hold that for me, I'm like, I'm going to get rich by holding on to Polygon for the next 15 years. But I do like using it right now. It's fast and it's efficient and it's got low fees. So with Avalanche, is it about that? Is it about the total value locked that's going to go onto it as the network launches and more people, more projects become associated with it? What do you think? Yeah, Alex says Polygon for the win. I rather like it. Yeah, I rather like it. So yeah, going back to our portfolio here, guys, we've got Wax kind of rounding it off at number 6. Polkadot is still kind of there above Cardano, but it really looks like it's being relegated to the sort of like the Cardano area, where I think in terms of adoption and people being excited about it, the excitement has definitely waned for Polkadot in a similar way to how it's waned for Cardano, since Cardano was like, yeah, you just wait. You're going to see, we're going to melt faces. Just wait. This is the day. Mark your calendars. This is going to be amazing. And then the date came and went, and we were like, oh, right. 1 transaction per block for that kind of smart contract. Ooh, that is lackluster. That will not scale to the extent that people are talking about. So yeah, a lot of people lost confidence in Cardano. And as you guys know, for my part, I was always kind of like, I don't know, we'll wait and see. If it really impresses me, then cool. Like, I'm excited for people who are winning in the space. But I just wasn't expecting to have that happen. And I didn't want to have Cardano play with my emotions by being like, oh yeah, we're going to do amazing, and then totally fail, So I guess I wasn't that disappointed. But yeah, there were some people who really were disappointed by that whole thing. So yeah, going to down the list, Ethereum is behind Cardano, and then Binance Coin. This is starting to read kind of like a utility ranking, isn't it? Almost like a utility ranking, where it's like Binance Smart Chain is sure it's being used by people, but yeah, Tron is being used by a lot of people now too, inexplicably. I mean, I had a client in the crypto marketing space say like, yeah, we want to pay you in Tether, but we want to pay you in TRC20 Tether on Tron. What universe is this? Like, what happened to everything else that we were using before? And definitely ERC20, like Tether and USDC, whatever else, like it's kind of out of the question now. Because if you asked me for like whatever $50 of Tether, bro, I couldn't even transfer it to you on Ethereum. I'd spend more in fees than I would in like paying you $50 in Tether, right? It's kind of crazy. Real News 2020 mentioned something that we broke as on the day it came out, which is that Circle is a nationally chartered bank, or is trying to become a nationally chartered bank. And I reiterated that on Wendy O's live stream last week. So yes, Circle, the parent entity that controls the smart contract for USDC, it has filed to become a federally chartered national bank. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. We'll see. And they're saying they want to be like 1-to-1 backed. But then now you're hearing people say that they want to push for legislation so that every stablecoin issuer has to become a national bank. I don't know if I agree that all of them should. It would be unique if Circle did, right? And if USDC were issued by a national bank. But even then, I don't know if that would necessarily make me all that much more confident in it. It'd be like, okay, no, that actually means that if there are like psychotic KYC or AML rules that hit the cryptocurrency markets, that they will just comply, because they will just have to, because if they don't, their charter will be revoked. And if their charter is revoked, their investors will spook. And when their investors spook, they pull their funding and the business dies. Like, just follow the money. And for a group like that, like a business like that, that's so incredibly dependent on crossing their T's and dotting their I's and jumping through every hoop and looking like they're legally compliant at every single time in a territory that is known for like legislative abuse, right? Like one day saying, oh yeah, we view these cryptocurrencies like this. And then the next day saying, well, no, actually, I don't know. I'm not really sure if it actually passes the Howey test. Maybe it's a security over here. Maybe this is property. Maybe that's an investment of some other type. I don't know. Ask us again in 3 months. Dude, you'd have to, in my mind, you'd have to be crazy to want to set up something the way that Circle is doing. It's admirable. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad somebody's going to try it, but man, these people are not going to sleep at night. They're not going to sleep for like 2 years after they do get that charter. If it is approved, all the principals, all the executives of that company are just going to like lay awake at night or go and get like professionally, or like from their doctor, they're going to have to go get an IV drip of like, I don't know, some like zombie serum to keep them awake so they can get all the stuff done they need to get done. Like, they're never going to sleep again is what I'm saying. And all their hair is going to fall out and turn gray, not in that order. It's crazy. Complex sepsis, run for treasury, mind your biz, please, LOL. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, one good thing about running for government office in the United States is that by the numbers, you're 50% likely to become a millionaire after you go into office because you know so many people who will make you rich. Seriously, the 1% are government employees at that level in this country. Yeah, I went there. I'm not gonna go too far down that rabbit hole, guys, but it's weird. It's weird how closely correlated those two things are. So, yeah, but thanks for the tangent there. I actually appreciate that we had a little tangent there. Real News 2020. I appreciate that. That was fun. So, yeah, Complex Sepsis says, my mind is tired from all the crypto info, but that's how they get ya. LOL, stop paying attention and lose out. Long game. My grape turned into a raisin. No, that's a really good analogy. That's great. Alex, does that mean Decentraland is a security because it's a property, virtual property? Oof. Yeah, dude, right? If he runs for treasury, that beard will be gray in days. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. I think if I did have the stomach for it, if I did actually think that I wanted to go that route in life, yeah, Caitlin Long, what she's doing in Wyoming is just amazing. It really is. It's amazing. Wyoming is one of the most incredibly crypto-friendly states in the United States, largely because of a few individuals, and Caitlin Long is on that short list. So she's played the game and she's driven towards like that direction. Like the fact that you can register a DAO, right? A decentralized autonomous organization. You can register a DAO in Wyoming as a corporate entity. It's legal right now, today. You can go and file the paperwork that you would normally file for an LLC, and you can walk away with the articles of incorporation and all of the operating agreement for a DAO legally. And the state of Wyoming, this is more important, the state of Wyoming will go to bat to defend your business entity's existence and its rights to the federal government for you. They'll go do that because they want the crypto business in their state. Like, I mean, they're making all the right moves to keep people like me who are interested in seeing crypto grow, interested in doing business in the United States. Wyoming is making all the right moves because everywhere else, it's like, now this is crazy. Losing proposition. That's insane. Like, why would you set up a business here? And least of all in a state like California. Good grief. Just like, ugh. Sorry. Gag me with a spoon. Don't set... I mean, like, even if you're not into crypto, setting up a business in California is just so dumb. Oh. It's like California hates business. They do. They hate business. They hate people. They hate winning. Ugh. And yes, familiarity breeds contempt. I was raised there. And in my lifetime, it has stopped being the California that I knew. Put it that way. Like, once I finally undid a bit of the brainwashing and I escaped, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I was brainwashed. I could tell. Like, I was brainwashed. And it's a very, very surreal experience when you leave a place and you're like, what just happened? How many years did I spend there wasting time, spinning my wheels, trying to play a game that was A, not only like rigged, but B, even if I won, I lost. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, we could go down that rabbit hole too. But anyway, so Wyoming making all the right moves. So Complex says the Mind Your Biz hoodie would turn into a dark hood like Emperor Palpatine. Let the fiat power flow through you. Let the darkness flow through you. Don't do it. It's true, man. It's not good. MC says, I have 2 businesses here in Cali. I had to close down my gun store of 6+ years. Bro, I am so sorry. Real talk. I am so sorry about that. Getting through that 5-year mark, you know, I'm sure probably was encouraging, right? Like, hey, maybe we're going to make it. I'm sorry about that. Because I think that's a business that a state like California needs, right? That people like Californians need, whether they know it or not. They need somebody who knows their stuff and is going to keep them safe and is going to educate them, is going to help them figure out that, you know, these things aren't scary, but it's a constitutionally protected right. It's not a privilege, right? Yeah. No, I'm sorry for you, man. I'm sorry that happened to you because, you know, the good die young, so to speak. So your business was one of the good ones, I'm sure. If it was worth anything at all, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, yeah. All right, so let's see. On our smart contract platforms, guys, I'm looking for the break-even point, and it's Kusama. Kusama is above the break-even point. Chainlink is below it, which is not too big a surprise, but everything below there is not above the break-even point. Internet Computer is down below 60% in the negative. Polygon is still 42% down, but it's above the $1 mark, which is not too big a shock for me. Neo is also down, but let's just see. Yeah, almost everything that's in the red is in the red pretty hard. Chainlink is only down almost 15%, 16%, but everything else is down over 20% in the red. So not too big a shock there, but overall, like you guys mentioned, the total P&L is almost 90% up, so it's a healthy portfolio. Just looking really good. Even the losers here are justified if you wanted to use them for some reason. So, or have a bag that was that diverse. All right, so checking out our automated liquidity. And it looks like at the time that we put it in, well, our number one performer is looking really volatile, but it's still up a lot, right? It's not in a downward channel. It's not in an upward channel. It's really showing a lot of volatility, and it almost looks organic. I don't think that looks manipulated to me, but this is an interesting product. It's an interesting coin. I'm getting to learn a little more about it from some of the community members. And apparently, as you know, there's some economics within that ecosystem that cause people to sell at certain times and buy at certain times that will occasionally show some big swings, almost like micro dumps and micro pumps in the price. So it's a weird one, but yeah, still in the number one spot there. Hyperburn is in the number 2 spot. Let's go down to where we break even. Everything below Pancake Swap. So that Uniswap airdrop, if you got it, it was worth like $2 to $3 maybe on the day that you got it. It's still worth over 10x that, or about 10x that. So you didn't do that bad. Just saying. It's not that bad. X Sushi is not doing so great. Sushi as well, Thorchain, Dragon's Quick, and QuickSwap, and then DYDX. I forget who asked me to put it into the portfolio, but we do not have an entry for it yet. We can't really compare it until we do, so I'm going to pull that up right now, and we'll do a May 26th entry for this. So 5:30 p.m. Go back to. And you see, guys, with the pop-up for the calendar, this gives us that flag that I showed you in Chrome. It gives, or Chromium, gives us this, for everything that's rendered, that would normally be a pop-up with white, like a really stark color. We're going to get this inverted color. So, yeah. So we got dark mode in everything that's rendered on screen. Kind of fun. All right. So that's our time frame. Let's take a look, jump back in time to see what our prices were. And we should see that little, like, that Chromium flag. Here's the bad thing. See, it flipped this. This is normally in dark mode, but it flipped it. So it doesn't always work the way you expect when you just like blindly hit one of those flags inside of Chromium. But then ironically, see, when we highlight that, it goes back to dark mode. Just saying, it's a hack, but it doesn't always work exactly the way you want it to. What the heck? Oh, hey, we don't have enough data on this to be able to jump back that far. Looks like it just barely launched. Whoever it was that asked me to put it in, I don't think they were shilling, or maybe they were, I don't know. But you could only buy it on September 8th. That's the earliest that it it could have been purchased. So you guys might not be able to see this. It might be too light as far as the live stream goes, but it looks like that was $11.77 was its launch price. So we'll go back and put that in at $11.77. Hey, it hasn't done that bad. So this is going to look pretty good. And I'm going to go to my scientific calculator this time. There we go, KCalc. Hurrah, KCalc. Unfortunately, this does not scale, though. Just squashes and stretch. It does the wobbly thing, but it doesn't rescale. So 1,000 divided by 11.77. And Complex Skepsis was asking about social media being out today. What does it mean? Is it significant? I think you're asking the right question there. Like, is it possible that it's part of a larger, more sinister thing happening? Should we be concerned at all? Is it a real problem in any meaningful way? I don't know, man. I don't think it is. Oh man, this thing is struggling. Go away, Twitter. We don't need you anymore. Literally. All right, so 84, 96, and that is not giving us our amount. It's not auto summing the amount. That's kind of weird. 17, 67, 20, 40. You know what? That's fine. Boom. We'll click submit. That should be enough. Alex, I was told there would be no math. Papers, please. These are some fun comments coming through, guys. Yeah, so I can't go into detail, but I can say if you've been paying attention to some of the John McAfee stuff, that there have been some posts into some Telegram groups that appear to be automatically posted, automatically leaked. So maybe we'll do a live stream over on like Odyssey or something. We'll just talk about that sort of thing. It could be a lot of fun, right? Just going through some of those documents. I cannot do it here though. Cannot. Just not happening. But if you guys are willing to take a look over on Odyssey for a live stream over there, because they do permit for live streaming. So we could take a look at that. So, yeah. All right. So it looks like it did go through. And it is in the number 2 spot, guys, because it did more than 100%. So that displaces Hyperburn in the number 2 spot. John says, great show with Wendy O yesterday. Hey, I really appreciate you saying that, John. Thank you. It's a lot of fun going on Wendy's channel. It's a lot of fun going on BitBoy's channel too. So that's it's really, really nice. Really nice that I'm still invited onto some of those shows. It's fun to be valued, I'll say, in the space. Monkey Bandit says, hey, Seth, when mining difficulty on a specific blockchain goes up, does that mean the hash rate for my graphics cards go down? That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that. So, no, when mining difficulty goes up, it doesn't always automatically mean that the hash rate on your card goes down. There are 2 variables. And this is kind of interesting. I don't have like a whiteboard or anything. And this is actually not even a pen. But it's a good prop, isn't it? So we'll use it. One of the variables is the hash rate that you're noticing on your card. So difficulty is a variable that is applied to the network and applied to every single miner. So difficulty can be dynamic on some networks, depending on whether or not the user selects to have a higher difficulty and compete in like basically like a more competitive side of the pooled net hash. But then there's also the hash rate is the other variable. So your hash rate doesn't change relative to the rest of the network. It's the same percentage, right? It's like if it's a giant pie, right? Your slice of that pie in terms of the hash rate you contribute doesn't change. But then there's a separate like variable. And I don't know how I would compare that in practical terms, but that's the difficulty. And the difficulty adjusts. On Bitcoin, it is a monolithic adjustment. Like everybody gets the same difficulty and it changes about every 2 weeks. Give or take some minutes or whatever, or some hours. And then on other networks, that difficulty can be more dynamic, or it can be faster, right? It can adjust faster, or it can be user selected based on the pool. So yeah, So we say difficulty kind of interchangeably with like the total net hash or your percentage of the net hash. And we sometimes say that interchangeably with the network difficulty, with the mining difficulty, which is a different variable. So great question. I'm glad you asked, because I think you were asking specifically like, hey, what do you mean by difficulty? And it can mean something different depending on the context. So yeah, you asked a really good question. It's an important one to ask. So yeah, so let's see. All right, so in our automated liquidity pool, our automated liquidity portfolio, though, number 2 is still DYDX. Number 1 is still the dreaded H word, guys. It's so funny because like, can we just agree that it's okay for me to talk about that project because it's just another cryptocurrency? This is going to be weird, but can we go there? Can we start going there? Because I'm seeing this project. They're gearing up to launch their Pulse chain, and I'm interested in seeing how the tech works. And so I don't want to be scared off by having it be like this this quasi-religious thing, right? Where people are like, you know, like crossing themselves every time we talk about a crypto project, right? Like, I don't know if any of them are literally the devil, so I don't know that we have to go that far. You know what I mean? But I'm interested in this project because of what it brings to the rest of the industry. And yeah, you can hear all the talking points. You can go to like whatever some of the other network, like the other streaming channels, right? Like go to Richard Hart's channel, go to like the other people who talk about just that coin, and sure, fine. You're gonna hear about just that coin. I'm not comfortable only talking about that coin, but I don't want any of these coins to be like taboo. So anyway, but I'm excited about not even so much this, right? Everybody talks about this, and especially you got Richard Hart who talks about like the only thing that matters is coin price and liquidity. The only thing that matters is daily volume and your ability to move coins. And you know what? Sure, fine. Whatever. Okay, fine. Okay, that's a way to define what is valuable in a coin. Oh, you guys want to see another cool hack? Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this spam bar here. Boop. Block element. Create. Gone. That's nice. I like that. 7-day price prediction. I don't know if I like that. I'm actually just gonna get rid of that entire column because I kind of don't care. Ooh, they made it a lot harder to get rid of though. But I will get rid of that little orphaned bar right there. See that? Newsletter inline table. We'll just get rid of the whole table there. So it's gone. Anyway, so less of an eyesore there. But the web is what we make of it. There are plenty of people in the comments who are like, yep, I always do that anyway. That's just how the internet works. Why wouldn't you just edit your own front end and get rid of their banner there? There we go. That looks kind of like a normal website, doesn't it? And thank you, uBlock Origin. It's going to just remember that in my personal preferences. So out of the way, looking a little better. I love the dead coins column too. This tab is fun. But Hex. So just to talk about like why I'm excited about the upcoming Pulse chain launch. So you got a bunch of people who talk about Hex, and you got Richard Hart who says like, look, the only thing that matters is volume and coin price. Market cap doesn't matter. That's the big refrain there. So they always say there, right there. That's their thing. They say like, we don't care about market cap. But I do. And I think you should. And here's why. I think that when it comes to full market cap, and when you're talking about projects like, for example, an EVM network, right? A brand new smart contract platform that's going to launch primarily to serve the needs of people who hold this token, you kind of have to take a look at the market cap because it leads you to understanding TVL, right? So total value locked on the smart contract network. That's one of the things that gives Ethereum its huge value, is the fact that DeFi runs on top of Ethereum. And now, right, you got NFTs that are like an extension of DeFi into this new space where collectibles have their own value, and everybody's really pushing to try to make sense of what NFTs actually mean and whether or not corporations should get involved, or professional athletes, or if the NFL will finally get involved, which they finally did, right after saying that they weren't going to let players have their own NFTs. It was kind of like they wanted to get into being part of the deal flow, so that Nike and Adidas couldn't make deals direct with their players. I'm pretty sure that was what was happening with the NFL. Because I mean, we've had trading cards for forever, right? For Major League Sports. So I don't see why NFTs should be any different, right? Why there should be some weird exception that we don't think are okay. But all that runs on Ethereum primarily. Sure, there are other networks. There's Wax, and I mentioned before there's Polygon, but Polygon is meant to bridge back. Oh, hey, we got a sub. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. I'm going to throw us into the lobby so I can get eyes on that. It was mosquito balls. All right. Cool. I don't have those directly on top of the stream, so yeah, appreciate the sub. But yeah. So yeah, total value locked. It is a metric that does matter when it comes to DeFi, right? Like it's talked about very, very commonly in DeFi. So Avalanche, people care about which projects are going to be on Avalanche. Polygon, people care about which projects are going to be on Polygon. Arbitrum and Optimism, right? These scaling networks that are custom to Ethereum, a lot like Polygon, but different, using some of the roll-up technologies. People care about which projects like Chainlink or whatever else are going to go onto those scaling platforms. The more value they have locked onto those networks. So let's just, again, we'll use a different example. And we'll go back to the main page of Nomics here. And I don't know, maybe I do need to get like an account here and try to make this run a little better. Dang, that is funny. Yeah, my system's a little bit laggy when I'm using this. At least my rendering on my end of OBS looks a little bit laggy. Hopefully it's compressing and looking really good on your guys' side. Let me know, or better still, smash like if you think it looks pretty good there. Let me pull up some of my system monitor stats. Maybe you guys can see this too. I'll just show it briefly so that it's not too weird. Go straight to that. Speak of the devil, there's the HP device manager being alive when all I wanted to do is die. Go away. Good grief. Stop talking. Just leave, HP. Nobody likes you. All right. And it's probably why that's like literally probably that one application is why my whole system was laggy right now. So anyway. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, OBS Studio, it does not, from my side, it is not showing that much CPU utilization. I'm surprised by that. So I didn't see that before, but you can see I added in my system monitor GPU usage right there. And then Brave. Oh my gosh. And Brave is only showing that because of an open window. So an additional tab. So kill another tab there. It wasn't even showing Chromium before. What the heck? And here's the thing, like, so look at, to show you how much more lightweight ungoogled Chromium is versus Brave, guess how many tabs I have open in Brave right now, and guess how many tabs I have open in Chromium. Guys, I'm serious. I want to see guesses in the chat. Guess how many tabs are open in Brave? Guess how many are opened in ungoogled Chromium, right? So it's stripped down. It's the developer version of Chrome, but it also has all of the sort of telemetry data, everything that Google uses to spy on you. All of that is stripped out of the back end. Plus it has some additional privacy enhancing stuff that like will do some data fingerprinting obfuscation. So just throwing that out there. So CryptoBetL says 11. Gundy's Stuff and Things says 1 Brave, Chromium 46. All right, guys, keep those guesses coming in. I'm going to show you live as those guesses come in because we're a little bit out of sync here. But you see the memory utilization on both of them, right? And the CPU utilization, right? This is nothing up here, no tricks. These are my system monitor. You can see what I'm seeing. And Alex says 8-1. Ozzy Bogentech says 1-4. Not a bad ratio there. All right, so here it is, guys. Brave. I can't actually show you that window. I'm sorry. Can't do that. But I can show you my Chromium window right now. So I'll just pull that away and we'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 tabs open. Now, 2 of those are internal tabs, right? It's Chrome settings and Chrome flags. So those probably shouldn't consume much. I'm going to kill those just to illustrate a point here. But that's still 13 tabs open. And yeah, you guys were right. The ratio was 1. 1 tab in Brave versus 1 tab, or versus over a dozen in ungoogled Chromium, both consuming just over a gig of RAM, and Chrome using less than 2% CPU at max, at peak. So yeah, this is why I like using that instead. Yeah, it's crazy, right? System monitor. What in the world are you doing with 8% CPU? Get out of here. You're going to go too. Okay. Anyway, so fun segue there. So, but going to some of these other projects here on the front page of Nomics, guys, let's find something that is native to Ethereum right now. So there's Tether, USDT. That is Alex. Yeah, who needs CPU? Meh. I mean, it's a good point. I need a little bit though. I need to have some. Otherwise, my system's going to crawl a little bit. GPU, yeah, is more important as far as user experience, but whatever. Solana, obviously not native. USDC coin, yes. Chainlink. Here we go. Chainlink. We'll pretend like Chainlink is an important and an extremely important thing. I know. Yeah, Link Marines, please don't kill me. Like, yeah, I get it. It actually is important. Whatever. But we'll pretend like it's, maybe more important than it actually is. Chainlink right here. Chainlink runs on several different networks, right? But it's primarily an ERC20 token, right? Let's go to markets here and we can take a look. Where is Chainlink actually traded? And take your time. So, Link USDT, Coinbase Exchange, Binance, et cetera. Let's see what we've got. Dang. All the centralized exchanges, right? Everybody wants to have their limit orders in place here and use their centralized exchanges and bots and stuff. And whatever, I can't blame them. There's some people who do really, really well there. All right. Wow, that's funny that I don't have. All right. Unis. All right, Uniswap. We see that there's some volume on Uniswap. See, every single day on Uniswap V3, there's over 5 million or over 4 million every single day on Chainlink. Uniswap V2, still got about 1.5 million. So we're over 6 million of daily volume just on Uniswap between Link and Ethereum. And then we got Link and USDC, right? People just like trading straight up. The dollar denominated stablecoin for Link every single day, right? Almost 20 grand daily. And if we were to go through this list, we could get a summary of all this. But for right now, yeah, Uniswap has a lot of volume. All of that is to say that if Chainlink were to move from Ethereum onto a lower fee network, I think it'd be a big deal. I think it would. It might not be the only, the most important thing, but as far as ERC20 tokens go, the Link Marines they're rabid fans, right? And as new people come in, they want to be able to stake on new platforms and they want to be able to move their coins around if necessary. So being able to lock value onto a new network is important. And that's why market cap matters, right? Because then it's an investor story, right? It's an investor narrative. New people coming into the space, not the A16Zs of the space, but angel investors and sure, even some VCs like A16Z or whatever, the big VCs. when they hear that story of like, well, I don't know, it's a new coin network. Well, Polkadot didn't do that great. It sounded good for a while, but then it kind of like whatever, it ran out of steam. So why should we trust this new platform? Well, you need to know that this whole market cap migrated from here over to here, right? From Ethereum to this, from this to Solana, from Solana to the other thing. Like wherever that market cap goes, it captures the value, right? So it's total value locked on that platform. So yeah, market cap does matter. It matters a lot, in my opinion. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I hope that was a good explanation there too, guys. But yeah, our automated our automated liquidity platform here, seeing the strong performance of Hex over here, that's what I think of, guys. I think of going back over to our proof of stake smart contract platforms and comparing their market cap. So now we're going to pull this thing up and I'm going to keep on killing windows or tabs because I don't really need them open. But if we now sort through this side of the portfolio just to see what has the highest market cap, that's interesting. First off, that Wax has the lowest market cap at $500 million. So tells you something about the caliber of projects that are playing over here. And I'm going to keep on closing windows. Dang. Tell me how you really feel. Okay. Can you go the other direction, market cap? Good grief. Nope, up only. Apparently it's the only thing that these portfolios know how to do is go up. Good grief. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we're going to go to CoinGecko's DeFi space here. Oh, killing me. Yeah, that's not helpful either, guys. It's not really that's not really helpful in illustrating the point that I was going to try to make before, but whatever. So we got some questions coming in through the chat. Complex Skepsis is asking, Mind Your Biz, do you think there will be a black swan event before December as the price rises in this latter part of the year? Is it an ETF that makes it happen or something else? Okay, you're asking me crystal ball questions. So, typical disclaimer, I could roll the red card if you really want to. And, why not? Because it's fun. So let's do it. All right. That's a tough one, man. I mean, who knows how to predict that sort of thing? The thing that definitely defines a black swan event is that you definitely don't see it coming. So you definitely don't know that it's going to happen. But something else like a black swan event happening, I guess they're like time frames, I guess, and yeah, sort of windows in which they can happen, but so close after there's already been like a black swan event, it would be manufactured at this point. Like I think that all the stuff that's happening with various policies in various different countries, and it's so annoying because on YouTube, if I want to maintain, growth in the channel, I can't talk about things plainly. You know what I mean? I have to find creative ways to say them. But the political reaction to world events lately over the last 18 months has already been a black swan event. And everything else that we're witnessing right now in the political reaction to world events is almost like an artificial black swan event where it's like, okay, no, we want to push this thing and make this thing happen. And we want to inflate the money and we want to we want to create more bad debt actually, because we want to be able to buy out cheap debt because we want to be able to own everything. So I think we're heading towards something that's almost like a manufactured event, but it's more political than it is financial or, health related or anything else. Maybe that's my best guess there, but an ETF I don't think is the thing. I don't think the ETF is going to be what pushes anything parabolic. I think, yeah, that's absolutely a crystal ball question, man. I don't know. At this point, I think it could just be the money printer. And yeah, the debasement of the US dollar that gets us into that position where we see that all assets, all real assets, all hard assets, that they all just go up in value, the apparent value, right, relative to the dollar. But that won't necessarily be the full story. Like as it is right now, a dollar is not worth what it was 18 months ago, and it's not worth what it was 5 years ago, and it's not worth what it was 10 years ago. There's some serious problems, right, with the financial basis for all of our measurements. So even though we talk about like, you know, the unit of account that we're using here is the dollar, and we want to move to Bitcoin as the unit of account, it's really hard to know what anything is actually worth. At least, you know, yeah, from where I'm standing. So yeah, I think we're moving towards some artificial, like an artificial black swan event, probably. An ETF, I don't think is going to matter. Every time an ETF has been rejected, the price of Bitcoin remains unfazed, remains unchanged. So yeah, like Gundy stuff and things is saying in the comment section, debt ceiling goes up, money printing stays on. John Germain says, can't be a black swan event. All the exchanges would crash and no trades would go through. Prescient comment there. Yeah, and I think I agree. So Monkey Bandit asks a mining related question, says, if the DAG file in a blockchain increases, does that mean my graphics card's hash rate will go down? So that's a great question too. It's kind of an entry level question. And what that means is that your graphics card may potentially not even be able to mine if the DAG file doesn't fit within the amount of memory that your graphics card has. So in the last couple of years, we've seen 3 gigabyte like memory sizes on GPUs that those cards were no longer able to mine Ethereum, and then 4 gigabyte cards. And at some point in the future, we're going to see that with 6 gigabyte cards if the beacon chain doesn't merge, right, on ETH 2.0. So we'll see that happen with 6 gigabyte cards too, but it'll be a while. So yeah, it doesn't immediately make your card mine slower. It just completely edges it out if you don't have enough video memory to fit the full DAG file on the card. So Nemesis is in the chat saying 3D printer go brr. Yep, that's what I'm saying, boy. That's half the reason that I want to get this guy running. So this is another little project, and if we still have Crypto Mikkel in the comment section, he's going to appreciate this as well, guys. This is just a fun, like, all-round hobby. This is going to be a Bitcoin full node, and then I think while it is, after we've got the full Bitcoin blockchain syncing here on the spinning platters, then I will be running some of the controller software for my maker stuff over here so that I don't run it from my main desktop. But yeah, this will only run a couple of maker-oriented things. So a cutting and burning device, and then a printing device. So that'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. You guys already see the heat sinks on top. I can do active cooling on it. I've got a different topper, like the limited edition one that I did for 10,000 subscribers, guys. I still really appreciate that. And I want to do another custom topper, a bit like that one. So a bit like the one that I did for 10,000 subscribers, right? Want to do another custom topper similar to that with the Bitcoin logo as the fan vent, right? So I've got perfect sizing for a 30 millimeter fan that looks, a bit like this. So a little 30 millimeter fan that goes through. This was for a friend right here, custom build. Their name was Crypto and Coffee, but they had the Bitcoin logo there. So a little 30 millimeter fan there, and then running it on the lower voltage rail of the GPIO pins here on the Raspberry Pi. And it spins so slowly, so smoothly that it's silent, right? It's basically totally silent. But with the heat sinks, it's enough air movement to keep all of your chipsets and your RAM really, really cool. So I've really liked that design in the open air configuration, because we know from GPU mining, air, right? Air solves a lot of heating problems. So we just took the sides off, and that makes the mounting holes here. That's another kind of cool thing. This is a custom 3D printed case that uses a tension fittings for for the register holes on the motherboard. See that? So there are no screws to hold this guy in place. If I needed to change out, say like, if I wanted to change out the SD card, or if I wanted to make any other changes to it, or just swap out the unit from this base, I could. But those are custom 3D printed. See those pegs? You can almost see them there. There you go. So they're custom 3D printed pegs or standoffs that hold the Raspberry Pi into place. You can hear it kind of pop into place there. And then it's held in place. Then when you have the topper on right where it's supposed to go, then this stays low profile, but it still fits the 30 millimeter fan underneath. And because of the way the 30 millimeter fan fits, the 30 millimeter fan always has a guard on the underside. So even if it makes direct contact with your heatsink, you're still getting airflow through it and over it. So this is a fun design. And then of course, on that lower portion right there, there is hardware, but that hardware is for mounting a standard 2.5-inch drive. So the whole thing is captive with minimal printing. Actually, you don't actually print too much. Can you do this same thing just by using brass standoffs directly on the 2.5-inch drive? Yeah, you can. You totally can. And then you print nothing, right, at all. But yeah, so I kind of really like that because you have the hardware and mounting points right next to the I/O of your Raspberry Pi. And so you can put all that right there. And if you put if you put a thermal pad underneath your Raspberry Pi, then you can just do a tension fit with that. Just hardware, 20 millimeter, standoffs, brass standoffs directly from your 2.5-inch drive here. And it sandwiches your Raspberry Pi into place if you've got one of those 30 millimeter fans on it too. So everything is held by tension and you got active cooling with nothing but a slab on top, standoffs, and a 2.5-inch drive underneath. So I really like that design too. That's how I've been doing the limited edition stuff, so that I can just send whoever won, right, for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway, and whoever will win for the 15,000 subscriber giveaway. Like, it's just, you just put it together, slap a little board in place, and I'll even send you like the thermal pad, so you don't so you can't possibly conduct anything from the backside of the GPIO pins. But anyway, it's fun. Let's see. Alex Burton says just add a layer of TPU. Yeah, you're right. I could put like gasket on top. I could put like literally just hardware gasket, right? I could do that instead. I think I used one with the thermal pad just because it's what I had available, and it's a little more tacky, right? So I wanted it to like compress and be more grippy. So yeah, but you're right. TPU would probably do it. Would probably do it just fine. I also put because these are spinning platters, I put some rubber foot pads on this so that it does vibration dampening. Because I mean, again, it's a 2.5-inch drive, so it's not going to be like wobbling off the desk or whatever. But I wanted to get rid of as much of the harmonics as I could, right? So so it's just kind of chilling. There it is. But I'll get a topper on this. This will run a full node, or maybe two, depending on exactly what I'm running here. But yeah, run a full node, and then also be the controller system. For that, I got part of the project here. We've got a couple of I did if you're familiar with IT recycling, I intercepted a TAMS recycling event. They were doing a clearance at a business. And so I got a bunch of old monitors that are missing like Visa mounts and missing all of the other mounts. But they don't have any HDMI inputs. They do have some DVI inputs. So I have to get a converter and put those onto a couple of monitors, and then use adapters for this Raspberry Pi board to go from micro HDMI to that over to HDMI, and then last mile convert DVI into HDMI. So this is going to go, both of these, got two of them, are going to go from the Raspberry Pi over to a couple of monitors. And then I'll probably do a custom spanning VESA mount just because I need it to fit over by the laser cutter. So like I'm going to probably affix it to the back of my laser cutter or to the back of that stand that I have it just to fit a custom space here. So it's like comfortable for me. Like I don't want to get fancy computer monitor stands for this. That's just silly, I think. So yeah, he's Alex is saying DVI, talk about reduce, reuse. Yeah, bro, here's the thing. I went to an IT clearance event at a business that was shutting down. I got like 10 monitors like that. And I just grabbed, like, for a thing like that, you grab whatever's available because it could be useful in a mining operation, for example. So if you have like older monitors that literally just have D-sub connectors, right? So like VGA connectors where you literally just have analog connections to a monitor, like you're going to get VGA outputs on some of these mining motherboards or old school motherboards that aren't like mining edition motherboards, but you're making them mine. And so if you add that to a KVM switch for each one of those rows or whatever, then, you know, it's one less monitor you had to pay for, and you can keep it there permanently, right? To just bring a keyboard with you instead of a monitor too. So, or put it onto like a full AV cart where you have the KVM switch and you hook in, on a mobile little, like a trolley or whatever. So, I talked a lot about projects here, guys, tonight. So I kind of, sorry, I went off the deep end talking about projects, but these are the projects that for me are really, really enjoyable. So yeah, Conga Exchange, I mentioned that before. After I do the business KYC, we'll see if that works out. I will let you guys know. I'm going to record the full business KYC process, and then I will try it out as a payment gateway. And if it works the way I'm hoping it will work, then I might be switching full time. We'll see. And then with the, with the new central command of all of my maker stuff, it makes me feel kind of silly thinking that I'm going to entrust all of my maker stuff to this little guy right here. This little guy, little Raspberry Pi that could. It's going to be, the brains to all my maker gear, anything that needs to be controlled by that. But yeah, I'll be doing I won't be doing vector design work on this or anything, or any of the other like STLs, like design stuff on this. I'll only be using this for controlling. So I will also need to have, so 2 USB ports will go out to the 2 maker machines. And then I'll probably need to have that last one available with some kind of like more easily accessible. No, I probably won't even do that. I'll probably be setting up another FreeNAS system, and then I'll just make sure that I'll just browse for stuff from the network attached storage. So I won't be like sneaker netting anything. So anyway, yeah, it almost looks like a rhino beetle. He says, yeah, it kind of does, huh? It's like, roar. So yeah, fun projects, guys. Thanks for letting me share that with you. I think on Wednesday, I should have a little bit more about that experience in setting up the business KYC or the corporate KYC for Conga Exchange so that I can do the payment gateway. I'm hoping that this, like, really, fingers crossed, guys, like, pray for me, whatever. Like, one like equals one prayer. You don't have to pray if you don't want to do that. But like, so yeah, I'm hoping that works out. Hey, Pocket Change is in the chat saying, let's see. Pocket Change is in the chat saying that I guess Chump Change is editing a video for tomorrow. Cool. That's really cool. I totally missed you joining the chat. I'm sorry. I've got a bunch of chat to catch up on, I think. So let me jump over to cycle through the chat here. Alex wants me to send him the STL. I don't think I can today. A friend printed these for me and printed them for me in bulk because he finally got it dialed in. It was tough getting all the dimensions here dialed in. It's like, yeah, I mean, as you know, when you get your hands on a good STL, you don't mess with anything. like really good geometry pays for itself. So let's just, hey, Complex Skepsis likes the way I do the cutouts on the toppers. Appreciate that. And Alex asks, is it a Pi 4? Yes, it is a Pi 4. You can tell from the side view that it's a Pi 4 because it's got the 2 micro HDMIs and the USB Type-C. I mean, maybe you couldn't see those details though. Yeah, but from the top you can see it also. So two micro HDMIs and the USB Type-C, which is amazing, guys, right? Like these little ARM processors, right? And Snapdragons and all like all the stuff actually for about the last 5 or 6-ish years. Anything that's an ARM processor, any ARM SoCs, almost all of them have done, like, if it's a device that already has a native screen, they've all done screen mirroring, or they've done extended displays, or at least dual monitor. Like, it's unreal. It's unreal how much tech is packed into here, you know? But you figure most laptops actually have a daughter or a main board that's only a little bit bigger than this, so I guess it shouldn't be that surprising when you think about it too. So anyway, yeah, now you're all going to be like checking all your lamps and stuff. Like, all right, am I bugged? Because they can do that. It's really, really small now. Going back to the comments here. Yep. So guys, the FreeNAS is going to be the server over here, my storage dense server, which I think I'll be where I have spare compute cycles there. I talked about it last time. Maybe I'll do virtualization. Maybe I'll go with like Proxmox or something. I don't know if that'll interfere with the Raptorium miner, but I think I will be having it do double duty, right? So Raptorium on the one side, and then with like a thread or two, I'll have it just serving files for FreeNAS or whatever else it needs to do. So this technology, are they hard to come by with supply chain issues? You know, actually, Raspberry Pi is getting a little bit more expensive. If you look for it on Amazon, this board should only cost $45. You're not going to get it shipped to you from Amazon for less than 70 right now. So yeah, something's not right. Our dollar is not worth what it was 6 months ago. It begins. Yeah. So guys, appreciate you being here. Let me just double check my desktop view. And yeah, I don't think that I had anything else here other than, I guess, charts at CoinTrader. And I wanted to show you this because I've been using, Alex picked up his Raspberry Pi 4 for $100. Ouch. Yeah, that's painful, man. That's not right. Then again, if you got an 8 gig Raspberry Pi 4, that's almost in line. Almost. I'm talking about like a 4 gig Raspberry Pi 4, which is the minimum spec to be able to run a Bitcoin node, right? If you're running like Raspberry Blitz, or if you're running Get Umbrel, or if you're running the Embassy OS by Start9 Labs, or any of the off-the-shelf, so to speak, Bitcoin full node software, you need a 4 gig Raspberry Pi. And those are going for $70 when they should go for like 35 or 45. The El Cheapo 2 gig won't work. Yeah. The 4 gig mid-tier model does work. Because yeah, on the Raspberry Pi 3, as you recall, the 4 gig was the top of the line. So yeah, 4 gig is enough. It's enough to do most of the stuff that I wanted to do. But yeah, so guys, here on charts.cointrader.pro, this is something, yeah, this is something that I'm considering switching to instead of just using the standard trading view. Man, my system is crawling right now. Like it is really trying to conserve RAM and then refreshing only when it needs to. Oh, you know what else? And I did that stupid screen hack. And I regret it. I have regret. Okay. Lags. Dark. Force dark mode for web contents. And we're just going to disable that. And we'll relaunch because we have cookies enabled there, so it's going to look good. Desktop doesn't look too bad though, right? Wallpaper is pretty relaxing. And we're all blind. But on TradingView, we're still blind. Why? Why would you do this? Good grief. I have account preferences. Why? John Tremaine says I have 16 terabyte serial attached storage enterprise hard drives in my TrueNAS server. Premiere. That's awesome, man. People are asking for video editing. Says you need an editor. You're horrible in Sony Vegas. Here's the thing. If you're on Windows, guys, I'm going to say something a little bit controversial, but Sony Vegas is actually faster to edit than Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve. The toolkit is designed with the auto ripple feature. It's designed to be a lot faster. And if you have the Vegasaur plugins, you can use scripts and algorithms to do certain kinds of edits really, really fast. So just throwing that out there for what it's worth, guys. I am going blind looking at my own charts here. The chopsticks don't lie. I'm going blind. It's definitely happening. Well, at least we have this video for, tell insurance what happened. There we go. Thank you, Dark Theme. Thank you for presenting yourself. Like, you saw that, right? You saw that was like whatever, like 2 full stops of light. It just went down. All right, so here we are on TradingView. And I'm thinking about doing a switch from TradingView to charts.cointrader.pro. Yeah, so just because it basically gives you all the features of the professional TradingView account, I think for free. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I think I can just keep adding indicators if I wanted to. I'm gonna go like full crazy here. So we're gonna keep adding indicators until it tells me that I'm not allowed to anymore. So we're gonna add some Bollinger Bands, and we're going to add. David is asking, are you doing any videos on that Raspberry Pi? I haven't done any videos on it yet. It's just been a project, but I probably should, huh? It's a fun project. Let's see. Let's go correlation log. And I'm still adding. If I were in TradingView, I think I'd already be. So Ichimoku Cloud. I think if I were on TradingView on their free account, yeah, I would already be shut down. I wouldn't be allowed to have any more. Double EMA. Still adding indicators. The Chaikin oscillator. And now I'm doing this just to be silly because I don't really need all of them. The Chaikin volatility. It hasn't stopped me yet, guys. See all of these, got all these indicators on screen. It hasn't stopped me yet. I'm starting to see the appeal of CoinTrader.pro. This is what Crypto Wendio uses, and I think I understand why now. Now, whether or not it allows for persistent charts here, let's see. MIB stream test. We'll add this, try to save it. Looks like it's saving something to my account, and I am logged into a CoinTrader.pro account. So CoinTrader.pro, take a look here as well. John is saying Chromium OS for Raspberry Pi. Yeah, I don't think I can get behind Chrome OS as a daily driver for myself. I don't know. It's just not flexible enough for me. There's something about not being able to open up like an image editor natively without using a web browser to go to a cloud-based tool. For me is not everything. So let's make sure I'm actually, yeah, no, I'm logged in too. So that's definitely happening. Go to markets. Go to trade it. Oh, no. It looks like maybe I'm not logged in. That was a Freudian slip. I need to end the stream. Guys, I've been going for like 2.5 hours. I'm sorry that I did this. A little over 2 hours. Appreciate you guys being here. I should probably call it a night. This has been a lot of fun. We kind of done a hangout session tonight. Thank you for smashing that like button. You guys, it's been so much fun. Kind of just chilling and talking about whatever projects, whatever else. Do you want me to actually do a little like video breakdown, like a 10-minute overview? Like I kind of did on the stream, but something a little more like structured for this little project, because I can. I wasn't thinking about it, but I'm really bad about that. Actually, I'm really, really bad about that, because I got a couple of servers over here that I haven't like made any content about, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do this stuff, obviously, but it's not obvious because I don't ever make videos. So anyway, guys, let me know if you like to see some of that stuff. I'm doing a lot more like project reviews. Like it's a lot easier to sit and stare at a screen and comment, right? So that kind of content gets made by me more frequently because I'm able to grind it out a little faster. But appreciate you being here, hitting the thumbs up, being subscribed. If you're a lurker, why wouldn't you do it, right? Like just go ahead. Just go ahead and subscribe. It's free. And occasionally we do giveaways. We have yet to announce the giveaway for the Crypto Wendio limited edition NFT, which is a collaboration between Mind Your Biz and Art Is Not Dead. So that's still upcoming. It's meant to be a spooky giveaway. So it was supposed to be in time for Halloween. We got a little more time left. Maybe we'll hit that 15K subscriber mark before that point, but could be you. It could be you. I hope that actually does come out in your favor. So appreciate you being subscribed, smashing all the buttons, clicking all the links, being awesome as one is, as you are. Thanks for being here, guys. And you know I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to check out mindyour.biz, where you can sign up for our email newsletter, where we're still ramping up content, but you will occasionally receive specials for flash sales and all kinds of other deals that we have going on the site. You can also check out our services page, where we offer consulting to projects that need it. You can pick up the Freedom Phone, which respects your privacy. You can pay for it in crypto and have it shipped to you anonymously, as well as getting merchandise that also is paid for with crypto. That's right, we practice what we preach, including, well, a Flux swag page. That's right. It's a dedicated page just for the team over at Flux Network, because we love them that much. Thanks for watching to the end. Thanks for being subscribed. You know I love your face. Be sure to stay private and mind your biz.